All right, welcome back, heroes, for the third and final time. Let's get ready to rock and roll and bring this Webcam Wednesday Weekly to an end. And we're going to be signing off round three tonight with some real beefy guys about to throw down. Keenan, why don't you tell the people what they're in for?
Oh my goodness, I could not be more excited. We have an Endeavor, and
Number
against
two?
the Endeavor 2, against the Endeavor, we have a 70 card Death Nomu deck that I am so excited to see go off. This is going to be an incredible matchup. We got some very high health, high defensive options, but also just like meaty aggro that can get thrown out on the other side of it. This is going to be amazing, Levi. This is what a finish to our tournament. And
It's
on top of that, we've got no sleeves.
no
We don't need
sleeves.
sleeves. We are all in on getting our cards down. This is actually incredible.
No sleeves, no problem. They
No
just
sleeves,
get
no
in the
problem.
way. They just get
That's
in the
absolutely
way.
right.
It's the God's honest truth. They're
Hmm.
just in the way. It's okay.
Absolutely.
All we need is Asuka and the Lego City box, and that's all she wrote. This is going to be a match for the ages. It's going
Yeah,
to be a complete slugfest, and I cannot wait to
absolutely.
see what these guys pull out. This is definitely a lot going on in this Nomu deck, but Endeavor here is showing us some real interesting pieces. A handful of things so far that you really don't see super often in Endeavor decks. And if we want to be real, Keenan, a lot of things that we don't see super often in Endeavor decks because we're seeing a ton of fire cards.
Yeah, typically those people are playing Endeavor off of Earth nowadays. So to see this, it's pretty interesting. So we're gonna get a new perspective on what the fire build has to offer. But right now it's all about Death Nomu, and Death Nomu is really in vogue right now amongst a lot of Nomu players that I've seen. You know, you have your new Toga card that goes right to momentum, paired with the Winged Nomu card to allow for Echo, like 30 damage off the rip. But we're not playing. We're not worrying about that because what we have is Chainsaw Nomu, and this card is going to get flash. It's probably just going to go in. Endeavor says Endeavor's not interacting with this at all. And then if it deals damage, you're going to get to rip a card out of their hand. So it's a lot of interesting play here, a lot of interesting options. I'm excited to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Chainsaw Nomu right here, but the real talk of the town, as far as these Nomu attacks go, especially in a Death Nomu deck, Winged Nomu, man, one
Yeah,
of the best Echo attacks in the League of Villains, possibly the
I
best
think
Echo
it is the
attack.
best. Yeah.
I Double Trouble definitely gives it a run for its money. That card feels pretty wild sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's definitely nice in a utility sense. Whereas
Hmm.
Winged Nomu just ends lives,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
like
Yes.
straight up ends lives, especially
Especially
when
in a
it's
character that gives it +5 damage a piece.
yeah, as a consistent 10 damage move, this thing
Hmm.
is substantially scarier.
Yes. But it looks like we got a good block coming down that's going to allow us to draw a card. So Endeavor sticking with his 3 cards in hand, but not with a whole lot of blocking resources left. And speaking of the devil,
Listen,
let's see if this Endeavor held a high block.
yeah, not so fortunate at check coming in on the second one as on our first one, but it looks like we are commit city full sending in this winged Nomu, praying our rival is not holding a high block. At
Yeah,
the same time though, I mean, there's a world where Endeavor just kind of saps this away on his own right.
it's
The,
true.
the the tankiness of Endeavor, man, is just not to be underestimated. I think obviously people are very hot on the Earth symbol for this guy,
Mhm.
understandably so, as Earth is just a powerhouse right now.
Oh yeah,
Just a powerhouse of a symbol.
it's
But I
great.
think Endeavor gets to bring something really unique to the fire table where he just gets to play all of these like really crazy, super powerful, big damage, like pressuring, threatening moves, and
Mhm.
not have to worry as much about the paltry defense of the fire symbol, the terrible block zone coverage, the +3 mods on every playable card whatsoever. It's just so hard. It's so hard to find stability to get to the mid game and long game playing the
Yeah.
fire symbol under a lot of its characters. But Endeavor just has so much on face defense that he
Mhm.
actually gets to come in and work these decks a lot better than most other fire characters.
And speaking of that defense, we just saw the -4 speed come down from Endeavor, so it looks like he took the move after. So That's interesting. I'm curious if he didn't realize Winged Nomu's
Can't be
full block
partial
effect.
blocked. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but it's interesting that he would then not use the -4 damage, or maybe he did and I missed it. But regardless, that was a very successful turn if you're the Nomu player.
Yeah, very, very, very solid chunk of damage. Put a couple more foundations on our board. Can't really ask for much more as a 5 hand size character.
Absolutely. And now he's got 2 momentum, he's got 1 card left in hand, and Endeavor can only do 6 damage at a time. So on 4 foundations already behind, you gotta wonder if it's just time to build out and stabilize a little bit. Your character has the potential to do that stabilization, but if you try to go in too hard, Nomu might just accidentally bonk you on the backswing.
That is actually that character specialty, right?
Yeah.
Is just accidentally winning games sometimes,
Yeah.
especially with so many of the things that he has access to.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to worry that much about, like, there's no conceivable way Endeavor can kill here. There's no way he can get through. Nomu has the ability to mitigate damage 3 times down to 6, and that's only going to be representative of, half of his health pool. There's no way.
Oh man, the
Ooh,
the the Nomu war continues. Winged Nomu versus Winged Nomu.
yeah.
Of
And we
course,
had
you know,
chainsaw winged and regular Nomu. So we are really repping as many Nomus as is possible today.
we are full Nomu'd up in this third and final round here, man. But the Czechs are not nearly as thrilled when it comes to Nomu. Opening a 3 here is going to make the rest of our turn pretty rough if we actually want to continue aggressing in any meaningful way.
And we're destroying foundations in order to give stats to our attack. So I think in this instance, Nomu's pretty content to just take this winged Nomu, and say, "Hey, you want to play another one and fail it again? Because I would love you to commit more."
Yep.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So this is an interesting choice. I suppose there's really just like a disincentive to blocking because Endeavor just really wants to grab momentum. It's just that also burning yourself and taking one of your best defensive pieces out of your hands is a little bit tricky, because you really don't want that Nomu to come in with like high speed attacks and run you over.
Yeah, again, Nomu is one of those characters that, no matter what the build likes, no matter how things are going, like, you've got to respect the guy. Like,
Hmm.
you've got
Oh
to just
yeah.
hardcore respect the guy because, as we said, it's just so easy for him to accidentally end the game out of nowhere. And oh my God, we're just going in
Ooh,
though.
we got the instant explosive. Very nice. So
This
we're
makes
grabbing some more
sense.
momentum. I gotta be curious if there is a second winged Nomu coming down with the Echo activation off that momentum. That'd be pretty sick.
I mean, if we can check rolling fives all day, that certainly
Yeah,
would be pretty sick. But at the same time, that sure is like just a lot of max 6 damage moves.
yeah, yeah,
It's not going to like paint Nomu into a corner, at least not in any
yeah.
significant way. Granted, we do need to progress the game state, but given that we're just on the back foot right now after that
Mhm.
last turn, Endeavor obviously needs to be worried about all aspects of the game, but I think our main concern right now is just increasing our resources and making sure that we can survive more turns.
Yeah, and I think the ultimate way to survive is if Endeavor is holding an attack right now, is just not block anything and let Endeavor accidentally unsurvive himself out of the game. Luckily, Endeavor has stopped attacking, so he's going to get an opportunity to do a little bit of that stabilization. But he's doing that with what, 3 cards in hand, maybe 2, and only 4 cards up in total. Now, both Endeavor's defensive activations are incredibly powerful, but the -4 damage in this matchup is actually a lot less exciting because all of Nomu's attacks get the +4. So really, you're burning yourself to put an attack to printed.
Yeah, it's certainly not the most valuable exchange. You're most definitely not zero damaging out an attack anytime
Yeah,
soon in this matchup. You're just kind of like alleviating a little bit of the pressure from when you actually can't block anymore. The
yeah.
real savior this whole game is just going to be those speed transfers.
Right. And if Nomu wants to, I mean, he does have snack time down. He could just conceivably let his whole hand go, but nope, it looks like we've got more of a defensive option, which is great. Nomu already has struggling with studies down, so he's basically going to be operating with an additional card in his hand if his opponent decides to go wide this turn. Um, and yeah, I mean, he's got 8 resources that say I'm only, or 9 resources that say I'll only take 6 from any of these moves. So Endeavor is currently in the position of having to throw at least 5 attacks that all hit for at least 6 to actually end the game.
Yeah, Endeavor also hasn't shown us like a terrifying amount of attacks so far, right?
Yeah,
We've seen a lot of them, but none of them are exactly they're not exactly home run dunks by any means.
not yet.
They're very very relaxed attacks, very very chill ones, honestly.
Yeah, and I think at this point, if I'm Endeavor, I'm really considering trying to build three and pass, or get an attack to get the calling for backup activation off, and then just build three and pass. Because Nomu's backswing is terrifying, and especially when he has outbuilt you by four foundations, you cannot feel comfortable in this position as Endeavor.
Yeah, we're getting hardcore outbuilt right now against
Yeah,
this Nomu
by a
player.
character under one hand size under us. Like this is time to it is time to play defense, backpedal, and get to a vantage where you can feel safe against a character that it can absolutely stomp you in, two attacks.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about safety, we've been seeing these build one, build twos come in like crazy tonight. Just
Yeah.
having to really, really make sure that we're covering our zones extremely efficiently, especially when we know that our rival is playing a winged Nomu deck, right?
Yeah.
We kind of just
Gotta
have
keep two
to,
high blocks.
yeah, we just have to play the game with two high blocks in our hands 24/7.
Yeah, and that can be taxing, especially on those turns where you don't find them and you got to start poking to get latent skill activations and stuff. Like this could very rapidly turn very sour depending on how Nomu's hands shape up here.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a little frightened for Endeavor right now. This is certainly not the best game state he could find himself in. We have a stage, for the most part, finally, but not a whole lot of it is going to be particularly relevant at these points in time. Ice gliding is pretty much our best thing, really.
hmm
Uh, we sure do have three latent skill though.
Yeah, we can find them. We just have to be able to pass them. And
That's the
with
question.
a six foundation board right now, I don't think that's possible. But fortunately for Endeavor, he's going to get an additional turn. It looks like Nomu is going to be going into building here, getting a gas cloud down, try to disincentivize any stun that might be in the deck. But yeah, I think this is I think that still, like, even though we're going into a stable Endeavor turn, Nomu still feels like he's got the upper hand. We'll see if Endeavor can turn that around right now.
Yeah, he's certainly got a lot of he's got his work cut out for him as well. Because at this point, I don't know, the second Nomu draw is like a significant string of moves. It's going to get very very ugly. He's got one momentum, so if we do find a winged Nomu,
Yeah.
one attacks becomes two attacks very very quickly. There's a lot that could line up to be very frightening here out of nowhere.
And we haven't seen him attack in what, two turns now, so he's definitely sculpting something. He's definitely saying, "I know I can't just throw an attack a turn and be able to win this game. I have to push into you with five attacks." But you don't get to this final round being 101 without having those advanced strategies that are going to help you actually close the game out.
Yeah, we're working with the gentleman's Nomu right here, right? The building and the blocking Nomu. He's
hmm
doing he's doing all of the things forbidden in the sacred church of Nomu.
Yes, this Nomu has gone recently and gotten himself a pedicure, and he's drinking his tea with his monocle, and it's all very nice. And the Nomu finds himself in a pleasant position, and he's been reading some good books. So
Oh yeah, he's full send. We were enjoying some fine finger foods,
mhm,
right? Like a
absolutely,
yeah,
some cucumber mayonnaise sandwiches.
yeah, perhaps even a glass of wine or two in front of
Oh,
the
absolutely.
fireplace.
hmm
A fine wine and cheese board in front of
Oh,
us, ready. Some
oh,
some
I
nice
know Moo. I know Moo.
crackers. Oh, I know.
hmm
Moo. Oh yeah, I'm picking up what you're laying down. I'm picking up what you're laying down. Keenan, this guy's got it all figured out.
Let's
He's
talk
got it
about
all
this
figured out.
corrosion lunge. I suppose, like, we don't
Yeah,
block
I
this.
love this card. I
We
love this
never block
card.
this.
No, we never blocked this.
But we do wish that Nomu had played one more foundation last turn because he would be in deadlock. But alas, our Nomu player has been doing the right things, and yeah, we don't need to give stats to the more of your moves. We're happy to just take six here, I think, unless Nomu is dealing with some pretty nasty blocks.
Yeah, I mean, if we're, flooded a certain way, it could be fine. But I think there's a world where, I don't know, Nomu's in a weird spot because he's got like a really healthy stage. If
Yeah,
we've got if we've got like cards in hand, we're fine losing. Like we
yeah,
can easily execute a couple blocks throughout this turn.
yeah. Let's make sure to get rid of the foundations, do some more sculpting, but I don't think there's any reason to put an attack into the card pool right now unless you were going to lose the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hamper my sculpt, especially
Yeah,
when you can kind of like try and goad Endeavor here into going in
yeah.
even more.
Right, and Endeavor may feel like he has to. I mean, Nomu's actually getting pretty low here, 19 life. It's not unreasonable, but also okay. Yeah, Endeavor's going to go ahead and stop there. So, really, Endeavor's ideal is review a foundation or don't review anything and rip 2 attacks off the top and just say, hey, how are your block zones feeling, Endeavor?
Yeah, Endeavor has to be a little careful too, though, right? Because he's also just straight up not allowed to go into deadlock.
Oh yeah, no, 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 no. Double snack time? Absolutely not.
Yeah, yeah, it's simply not a game state that we get to play in. You
Yeah.
know, fate has come down to bestow upon us the lock with no key when it comes to the deadlock state in this game right here.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so I guess the question is, I think with 4 attacks, you can feel confident as the Nomu player starting to swing in. But if you're only sitting on 3, I am hanging back forever because like Endeavor has 3 cards in hand. He's got ways to fish his blocks out. It's just not worth trying to go in unless you can really threaten something big.
Yeah, but we do have a point blank incineration leading off this string with
Hmm.
gonna say that if we do follow this up with another mid attack, it's going to get seriously scary.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, anytime Nomu can stack speed on something, it's problems. Like the damage is okay. You can block things, but if it's got speed, you suddenly start to not be able to block things. And looking at Endeavor's board right now, he's got what defensive pieces? He's got ice gliding and he's got his character. And I think that's about the bulk of it.
Once again, we have entered a world, Keenan, where the best defensive thing going on between both players' boards is an ice gliding.
Yeah.
We went from a high value target to an ice
Hmm.
gliding to a new ice gliding.
You know, commit for -2 effective speed is still pretty good, but it could be better.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that we're comparing the two, right? As far as the sequence goes, because like ice scouting is just high value target.
Yeah. Yep. High value target with a little minus speed on the end.
Yeah, I guess we get -1 of the next, right? So
Right, and that is actually very helpful in this matchup because like a lot of Nomus will play cards that have pretty reasonable base speed, like 3, 4, 5, more like 4 and 5 to get their attacks to go through. Oh, looks like we're thinking about snack timing this too.
it's snack time, boys. It's
So we're
snack time.
so we're basically getting stun 2 off this move because it already had the stun 1 on it, and yeah, I mean it seems like 11 damage is something that Endeavor probably wants to try to block. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get enough cards out of the hand here. I would just hate to continue using snack time if I don't have, you know, anything to back it up because Endeavor still has plenty of blocks in him right now.
Yeah, we're gonna be relatively encouraged to block this. I would
Yeah,
say definitely doesn't seem like a fun one to take on the chin anytime soon.
nah.
Um,
Endeavor
however,
only has like 16 health. 11 is a little bit too much for my blood.
yeah, we do have to think though, right? Because the next one's gonna come in with 3 speed as well. That could
Hmm.
be a very serious number.
Yeah, but you know, if you block the 2 speed one and then you take another 11 damage one that you don't have to commit out for as much, that's a win. So I think what Endeavor really needs to have here is a winged Nomu. Like 3 cards in hand versus Endeavor's, 3 cards in hand. It seems a little bit tenuous for him to be able to force through exactly what he needs. Not that it's impossible, but if we're trying to like guarantee anything here, I think winged Nomu really does seal the deal.
I totally agree with you. So our ice lightning block is going to come in and stop this big 11 damage moves in its tracks, but that is okay because it's the follow up that it's after. But what do we have is the question.
Hmm. Hopefully
What
it's a
is
mid.
our yeah? Ideally, it's
That's
certainly a
not a
mid.
mid.
That is most certainly not.
Yep.
Most certainly not.
But it is very fast, and it is going to be 9 damage. So not a bad card. It's not going to get any of the bonus off of the point blank. I guess in this case, point blank was really there to do stun 2, right? It was there to be the lead off, to commit down a little bit, and I mean it did force a block. And this is still going to be at least 6 speed. So it's still doing what it needed to do.
Yeah, we're certainly not in the worst timeline right now.
Yeah.
You know, like rougher things could be happening. Rougher things are happening, arguably. I think that as long as we continue making our aggression efficient. I mean, again, even when we were when we were checking bad before, we've just got actually a very healthy stage that it's okay.
All right. Well, we also did just snack time again, and so our 5 hand size is now down to a 1 measly card left. Unless that card is the best attack ever.
Oh
Oh
my
no, it's
god,
not
we're
even attack.
snack timing again.
We are
Full
all in
send.
on 7 speed being what needs to happen. And the problem is Endeavor can still lose 2 for a -4 speed net. So at the end of the day, is this really going to deal damage? It depends on if this guy has a high block in his hand or not. And you can
Yeah,
see he's already paid for the speed, so it's probably getting full blocked, and
yeah,
Nomu will be defenseless.
it looks like this is going to be stopped in its tracks, which is a pretty rough spot. Pretty rough spot for Noma to be in. Just not really having the resources anymore from this point onwards. Unfortunately, as nuts as he can be. Oh, flip for two
We got our
speed.
in control for 2 speed. I think you have to do this. I think you've sold out. I mean, you have tactically no blocks next turn. So if this attack is blocked, you effectively wasted your entire turn, and it's just a bad time.
Oh my
So,
god.
and we got a second one for -2 to the block. Okay, so now we have a 7 speed, 8 speed with a card and card pool for Endeavor, which makes it he needs a +1 high and a 5 off the top if I'm doing my math correctly.
Yeah, nothing can go wrong for this block to succeed.
Yeah.
we need literally everything to go right here, which is kind of crazy. The
Are we
math
gonna
here.
latent skill to fish?
Oh
Nope. Okay.
no.
Oh, we had the +1. Now he's got to hit the 5.
Okay. Yep.
I think
So
that's not a
it's
5. That's a
so
yeah.
we checked a 1 and
Right. We checked a
the
1 against
block
a
was on
7.
a 7,
Yeah.
so it
No
is
way.
gonna fail.
Hey, you know
Holy
what?
cow! All the way down to
Nomu just got
5.
paid, and Endeavor has to hit him 4 times next turn in order
Yeah.
to win the game.
Yep.
Endeavor needs to rip 4 attacks, and Endeavor only has 5 life to pay down in order to pump those attacks up. Now that should be enough, but even then, he's really running low on his health, which is his biggest resource.
Yeah, it's gonna be him. It's gonna be tough for him to close the game down this turn. It feels like he's just not quite ready.
I mean,
That's just not the world that we're living in yet.
double latent skill and calling for backup, though. I mean, he can basically refresh his whole hand. So I think Endeavor has a pretty good shot here. I would have loved for Nomu to hold 1 card, because 1 card with the struggling with studies is actually 2. And then you can just commit cards for Nomu's cost all day. But yeah, if Endeavor has 1 attack here, we might be looking at a dead Nomu.
It's very touch and go right now. It's extremely touch and go right now. There's a lot that Endeavor can do if he finds the goods this turn. But
Yeah.
even if he does, like, is he really in a position to get that crazy with it? Like, he's got to have like the hand, and
Yeah.
I feel like he also has to find the checks pretty hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of foundations down too. Ooh,
Ooh,
okay.
Blue Flame Smolder.
Very nice. So his opponent is definitely not blocking this, so he's not going to get the speed, but that doesn't really matter at this point. We're looking for damage.
Yeah, we're kind of just looking to count here, you know.
Yeah. So this
You
is
know,
going
we're
to do 6, and then we just need 3 more. That's it. Easy enough. Do we have it? That's the question.
Oh yeah, if we Endeavor pump it, yeah, it can do 6. It could.
Mhm.
It could.
And if he removes a card, it gets 2 speed or 2 damage. I don't know if he's got the capacity to do so, but
It looks like he's got the fire starter.
oh.
Oh, no, that one needs to see the removed cards.
Yeah, that needs
Yeah,
10 removed. I think if maybe he has another Sugar Rush power up in hand. That'd be pretty cool.
another Sugar Rush power up would be very crazy here.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like we're just kind of trying to figure out how to cobble this turn together. If he doesn't have it, he just needs to start drawing cards.
Yeah, that's like priority number 1 is
Yeah.
we've got to just start finding advantage, which the fact that I don't know, maybe we've just been missing them tonight, right?
Calling for backups, yeah.
But yeah, the calling for backups just not happening tonight.
Nah.
The phone lines are dead. We got
Lines
no
dead.
signal.
Yeah.
No, there is just no backup to be called tonight, man.
Net draw is overrated. It's all about filter, Levi.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You make true points. I can't argue with you, Keenan. I didn't go to the HLC. Yeah, man.
You did go to the HLC, Levi. I saw you there. All right, looks like
metaphorically
and physically. Looks like we've got our 6 damage down. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Nomu just has no defense, but he had to sell out absolutely everything to guarantee that last attack to go through. So
yeah,
I see where he's put himself, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. I mean, we're just in the realm of counting now.
Yeah.
We also now have a little more now have a little more ammunition, right? You said that we only had, we only had 4 health before.
Yeah.
When it came to actually manipulating our damage pumps. But
Yeah,
thanks to that armored muscles, as that blue flame smolder slams home, we actually do get to increase that number by 3, giving us 7 to play around with, meaning that we can most certainly help find those 6 damage increments come in.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's interesting because he removed a momentum for Pyromania, which gives 1 speed to his attacks for the rest of the turn. But it looks like if he had done that beforehand, he could have gotten the damage on Blue Flame Smolder to go through. Not that he really needs it at this stage, but it's just interesting that the sequence worked out in that way.
Yeah, we would have been able to force some stuff here. Definitely a bit strange to wait on pulling the trigger on Pyromania. I do agree.
Yeah. Well, it's another looks like another 6 damage. So we've got Nomu at 7 life. Now we just have to find 2 more.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah, and checks are not going to be a factor here. This is just textbook running out the clock on a player who overextend or running out the card pool on a player who just overextended a little bit, and
yeah.
it happens.
Yeah, this muscle rush is going to come down. We're still not calling for backup,
Yeah,
so like 99.9% sure, right? Survey says that
survey
this
says.
should be in the bag for Endeavor.
Yeah, and so it's interesting if I believe if Nomu had kept one of his blocks without snack timing, no, actually he would have his opponent would have absolutely passed that block. So yeah, Nomu sold out and ended up choosing a kind of a rough time to do it. Though it's interesting that we're filtering now and not filtering, before when we really like needed to make sure that our math was good. Because if we're filtering now, it could mean that we don't have another piece of orange in our hand.
But we discarded one. We
We
discarded our
discarded
blue
one.
flame
Oh, okay,
smolder in
okay,
that
okay.
filter.
The game is over.
Yeah, so we have 3 cards left in our hand. So that
Yeah,
one that we hung on to must already be in attack.
yeah. We just preferred to have this cool little 4 diff to make it easier to pass.
Yep.
Nope,
And
we
now
just
we
preferred to have
oh,
30 blue flame smelters.
we have so many blue flame smolders. We have so many, Keenan.
I heard you like flames. What about blue
Yep.
flames? What if they
Yep.
were
Yep.
smoldering?
What if?
What
Yeah,
if?
this blue flame smolder is definitely gonna put a wrap when it comes to Nomu's game plan. He's gonna be packing the cards up, hopefully trying to get ready to redeem himself for a game 2 here.
I believe. I believe. I want to see Nomu with a 5 build on 1. I want to see Nobu throwing all kinds of like cards to get momentum and then draw all the winged Nomus in his deck. I
Yeah,
am
just full send.
no offense to our Endeavor player here, but I want to see our Nomu player. I want to see a game 3 more than anything in my life.
Yeah, our Nova player is inspiring me.
Mhm.
He's inspiring me to be better right now.
No sleeves, no problem. Let's get this game. I'm ready.
No sleeves, no problem. No sleeves, no
Absolutely.
problem. Oh, doing a little peeksies in the sideboard by the looks of it.
Ooh.
Ooh, what you gonna bring in, Endeavor?
What do you
What you gonna
have
bring
to cite
in?
against Nomu? That is my question.
Yeah, I don't think a whole lot. I mean, we've got the more forcing surrenders in case we think that our rival's gonna it's pretty tough. It's not exactly a whole lot of tech going on here. Nomu is a deck that you kind of just play solid defense into
Hmm.
most characters,
Yeah.
and that's kind of all it really takes.
It looks like if I'm looking at the right list that he may have 2 winged Nomu in his sideboard as well. And I think that's a really good consideration considering that Nomu is not blocking much at all, so you're almost always going to be able to echo that the next turn.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit in it, at least, especially in a deck where like you've got to get your damage in these bite-sized chunks.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean I could see Evil Gaze, you just expect the Nomu to not build that much, get maybe getting um some more denial on his foundations a little bit. But I think for the most part you could just shuffle up and play and not worry about it too much.
Yeah, a big thing about these decks too, right, is Force and Surrender is horrendously cool in this deck because getting to flip this and then take away your echoed attack from the card pool is
Oh,
pretty sweet.
yeah, that's the dream actually. Did
Mhm.
our Nomu player build and Excited for Blood and pass?
He did. It's not looking good for our hero, folks.
My heart.
My hometown hero. I know
My
you really
hometown
wanted.
Nomu.
I know you really wanted that game 3, Keenan, but
We're
oh
getting the
my
game
god.
3. Here's what's going to happen. Endeavor is going to draw 6 attacks,
Yeah.
fail all of them.
Okay.
Nomu is going to get his momentum this turn, and then he's gonna wing and Nomu him, and it's gonna be game over. You just
And we're
watch.
just gonna have no high blocks ever.
No, high blocks are for the weak. All right, lot to consider here. Do
I
you
want to
play a
see him
5
attack
diff
this
and
turn.
risk committing your character?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you hard slam. You hard slam the
you
5
windmill
diff.
slam it every day. I'm
Yep.
down.
Yep. There it is, boys.
Ooh, we got the
There
long
it is,
lasting pick of
boys.
5.
Oh my
Yes, we're
god.
in there.
Oh
We're
my
in there.
goodness. The brakes are off. The brakes
I
are
am.
off. Our
It's
our
happening.
hero is back on track.
We got 5 speed coming. Endeavor's going to use his E, block it, and then the 6 speed attack is absolutely bonking for like 9 damage, and then we're off to the races. That's all we needed. We needed the 1 momentum, get our Wing and Nomu online, build out, get our excited for blood. It's over. The game is over. Nomu has won. We can pack it up.
Well, if Nomu wins, we definitely can't pack it up because that
Oh,
means that
that's right.
game
Because we
3
have
is
to
going
play
to be in
game. That's
store
fine.
for us.
The game is over. We can sit in our seats and continue munching our popcorn.
I can't say I'd hate that.
And our Endeavor player doesn't even have the mid.
Oh my god. I'm
And
in
he might
shambles
still
right
not.
now.
Who's to say?
I'm in
That's
shambles.
11. That could be just 6 to the face. We love that.
This is such an emotional roller coaster of a match right now.
This is beauty right here. This is what UVS is all about. Sometimes you got to make the right play, and the right play is 5 diff, 2 cards to commit, hopes and dreams in the back of the car, driving as fast with no brakes down the highway, hoping that somebody just eats 11 on accident.
Hey, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time it happened this round, right?
Yes, that is correct.
It would not be the first time. There will be many examples to come.
No.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
do find our mid block, and it is going to be horrendously easy to stop once that
true.
-2 speed comes in.
It's okay because Endeavor did burn himself for 2, so Nomu's already winning on life. He just has to win on the rest of the game.
It's certainly a form of game state progression, right?
All
That
right.
is
Okay.
one way to think about it.
All right. We can still accidentally commit our character here, but we didn't because we're gamers. We've got a 7 high for 10 damage move. Can Endeavor block this, or is he just going to, eat his 10? And we've still had a very successful day at the park.
Yeah, I think this is still definitely within the realm of blockable, right? If we have something like a I don't know, just the ability to actually put some pressure on with this move on our one foundation is kind of insane.
Yeah. And I mean, even if he blocks it, he's gonna have to nuke a foundation, right? So at the end of the day, it's not terrible for the Nomu, but the Nomu really wants to see the momentum because Winged Nomu is kind of, I think, the only plan that's going to get you there if this Endeavor gets set up.
I agree. And I think the momentum is super duper important. It's gonna be our primary resource when we're actually trying to close games out. And one of the biggest reasons for that there is, a lot of these winged Nomus, man. I don't know, dude. There's just something about 11 damage 2 times.
Yes, we're in. We
We're on
can
the
draw
board.
our card off Excited for Blood, and then we can.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
He got there. He
yes.
got there.
There
Yes.
we go. There
Oh my
it is,
God.
boys.
This is it. He's going to draw a foundation. He's going to build 3. He's going to pass. And next turn, what did I tell you? Next turn, it's over. The game is over. Calling it for Nomu. We're going to game 3.
Can you imagine if Endeavor just draws like 0 high blocks next turn?
That would be so. Don't make me so excited. You got to stop. Oh my God. And the cool part is, Excited for Blood also live on Endeavor's turn, because to get offense, he's only burning himself. So Nomu has effectively, he can respond 3 times and gain 4 in the process.
Unfortunately, though, only finding a second foundation here to build as Nomu, you cannot feel too good about that. Still falling very, very, very behind when it comes to our stages. At least we have a healthy life total lead.
Oh, yeah.
But in a matchup like this, that's something that can disappear very, very often.
Yeah, especially when your opponent has to commit out. I mean, it's gonna disappear for Endeavor, is what I'm saying, because we definitely held a mid block, and we are a classy Nomu who eats our tea cakes and wears our monocle, and a mid attack is nothing to worry about. that's
No,
2 speed.
I believe in us. This attack is not our concern right now.
Not our concern. Yeah, we can block it, we can take it. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, Winged Nomu is coming down next turn. And
I
we're
think
going to
so.
game 3. We're going to
You
game
you
3 either way.
believe? You
I
believe the 70 card pile will get us there?
Since one foundation build on turn 1, I have believed. And I will
Wow.
continue to do so until I am proven wrong.
You're
And
a
until
man
Asuka
of
can no
no
longer
perfect.
stand on her pedestal.
That's true.
She
That's
is
true.
having
As
some
well as
problems.
she, she is having some problems. I mean, that's like the whole series, right? She's having some problems. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
But I believe in her and I believe in Nomu. I feel like our window of victory, it's inching away from us, but it has not closed just yet.
Oh, we just drew a card off Excited for Blood, it looks like, for the burn. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's the dream. He's doing more filtering.
That is the almighty equalizer in this matchup. So we're
Yeah,
sending
Excited
a
for Blood really good.
two mid for 7. Definitely. Oh, yeah. Okay. 6 is good.
6 is great.
6 is good.
All day, every
Gonna-
day. If Nomu just drew like a high block or an attack, like yeah, just keep those.
Ooh. Oh, it's getting super punishing now. Instant explosive release is going to come down pretty hard, but so is the second
Yeah,
3 check of
extra
our
punishing when you're
turn.
only ripping 3s off the top.
Oh man, yeah, that is incredibly rough. That is incredibly rough. We're gonna sell out a little bit for it.
I mean, you gotta.
I mean, you have to, yeah. I don't know if you're in a game state where you're not allowed to anymore.
Yeah. So the question is, do we have the high block or do we just take another damage? I would if we have a foundation with a high block on it, I'm absolutely playing it here. I don't think my opponent's going to continue to sell out, and if they do, it's only good for me because I get to turn around and be Nomu, and that is way better on a turn where your opponent's sitting at like probably 17 health now with all the burn.
Yeah, literally, there's no force in the world right now as Nomu that would. Oh, what?
So that's interesting.
Yo.
I mean,
Yo,
I'm
what
I'm hyped
happened?
for this. This is great. This is just good content, Levi. This was a great match to pick. Uh, that is the biggest instant explosive release has ever gotten, and now Nomu has some decisions to make, and it might just be, you know what, I can pass this on a 6 and I'll fail it, and I'll just take my 6 damage instead. Or it might just be just take 6 damage, and you know what, you removed 10 cards out of your discard pile, and you can't hit me with another one of those in the next 3 turns. Like, yeah, options abound.
Yeah, options abound. We're gonna be able to very, very happily pay this thing. Yeah. Oh, it's super sugar rush. Wow, 5 high. This is yeah, you said it best, man. This is the most intimidating instant explosive release I have ever seen in my career.
And we are, it looks like just taking 9. I didn't see a
Ooh.
response.
Ooh.
That's an interesting choice. I mean, maybe he's worried about being able to block something else down the line, but I would have much rather just not take. I'd much rather taken 3 less myself.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I really, really could have gone either way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of, feel like we have to wait and see the hands
Yeah,
because
hard to know. Hard to know for
yeah,
sure.
there's definitely some evaluation going on here.
Mhm. All right. So is Endeavor playing another attack? Because if Endeavor playing another attack, he's really putting himself in a rough spot. Ooh, interesting. Which do
Yeah.
you flip?
Oh man, that's so hard. I think I don't know, man. If I've like finally got the goods, if I finally got like like
The win
the
con?
yeah, if I finally got like the SmackDown, I might not. Yeah, I don't know. I think the first Jave class is probably the right choice.
Yeah, I think if I've got it, I'm gonna flip the Excited for Blood because I want to be able to pass my checks. And he's not reviewing, so he might have it, but it looks like he's keeping the options open with Excited for Blood, which is really good, especially if he can't make it this turn. And then you're just getting the opportunity to gain 4 and draw a card next turn. It's such a good card in this matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna pull so much. It's gonna pull so much weight, man. It's
Mhm.
gonna really, really pull so much weight. I also really want to acknowledge how sick Pyromania is in this deck. That card's
Yeah.
been pulling like a ton of weight.
Oh yeah. I mean, extra speed. It's going to get -3 damage. That actually could be the difference between a dead and alive Endeavor this turn if Nomu just happens to have it.
Yeah, just a little remove for -3 damage. It certainly could be. Again, the only health point that matters is the last one.
That's very true. I would much rather have 1 health than none health.
Right.
All
Right in
right,
with the long lasting. Check the 4. Could be
oof,
worse.
could be
Ooh,
better.
yeah, yeah, it certainly could be. It could be either things. It could be either things.
Now the question is, did our Endeavor remember to hold the low block this time? Because he doesn't have any more filters, so he's not allowed to define stuff. He looks like he's got it marked as a high on his sheet. Okay, there we go. He's fixed it to it.
Yeah, I guess it's I don't know, it's a hard knocks life for the group, right?
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's fast, but it doesn't have to be. It's big, but it doesn't have to be. And Endeavor gets to make all those calls. Uh, it looks like we're going
Oh,
to go
we're
ahead
making
and
a call.
subtract speed.
All right, so we're full blocking the heck out of this all
Looks
day,
like it.
every day, which
Yeah.
thank goodness.
Otherwise, we'd probably be dead. So we full block this, but we just lost 2 health. We were at 18, so we have to be at 16, which means that the next move, no matter what it is probably not able to kill us. Unless it's a wing
No.
Nomu and you check really well and he didn't keep a high block, but that seems like a lot of contingency to be relying on here.
Yeah, even a winged Nomu with 2 5 checks here just is not doing it.
Oh, and it looks like we got the Excited for Blood activation off the Endeavor burn. So we are. I really like the way this Nomu player has leveraged his Excited for Blood. I mean, it's a really strong 3 diff in a lot of matchups, but playing it against Endeavor puts it on a whole other level.
It really does. It's like just so free after free after free. It almost
Yeah,
feels like passing the torch good.
it's better than passing the torch in this matchup. I would argue. Just
Yeah.
because it is so free. You don't even have to do damage. You're drawing all over the place, and it's just because Endeavor is using his abilities.
Yeah. Yeah. Just actively getting excited for blood just for Endeavor playing their character.
Got it. Well, here we go with our full block. We finally didn't check a 3, which is I'm sure Endeavor is excited to see that. Uh, and it looks like Endeavor is at 16 and Nomu is at 20. So the question is Nomu feeling froggy? A winged Nomu maybe could do it. I think it would be just barely enough, but he would have to destroy all of his foundations and check 2 5s in a row, and that seems very tenuous. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I think this is probably a back off, but we might just see the high come out just because it's got the extra speed and just because it's almost guaranteed damage. And then at that point, you're asking, "Hey, Endeavor, are you able to pass 4 attacks in a row?"
Yeah, it's really hard not to go for it, right? You gotta enter a point where you're like, man, I've got these stats ready to pass on. I didn't deal damage with the first one. I'm desperate for that damage. I
Right.
think we turn
Oh,
to dust on a 6.
okay. Let's see how we do. And
No,
there's the sludge. Unfortunate.
no. The
Well,
sludge, the sludge rears its ugly head, and that's gonna end the turn for Nomu.
and
Ah,
that
the
feels
dream.
like the momentum
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fully gone out of the sails. Like,
We were churning.
we had a really cool turn 2 where we got to pass 2 attacks and bonk for 10, but when all of a sudden you hit those threes and the wind starts blowing the other way and you don't have anything to show for it on your build, that's where we start to get a little bit shaky. And I think this Nomu player is now feeling that a little bit. So I'm hoping, something swings back for him so he can get that game 3. I don't know if I'm feeling good about it yet.
It's going to be tough for the goddess of victory to smile upon Nomu in this scenario. We have really backed ourselves into a corner,
Yep.
and I just don't see Endeavor giving us that leeway back.
Yeah, and Nomu wasn't doing a whole lot of reviewing in the last turn, and I think it may just be because his entire hand was chock a block full of orange. So this is interesting because it is good for.
Triple
Wow,
ignite.
interesting. This is good for Nomu, but it's also fine for Endeavor. Endeavor is happy to maintain this horribly dominant build position against a character who, I mean, he's not even reviewing anymore. He seems like he's just going for it at this stage. Like,
Yeah, I guess that might just be the world that we live in now. We've got a fourth of our rivals' foundation count.
yeah,
Maybe it's just time to start thinking. He just sending it.
okay. Okay, now does Endeavor have 2 high blocks, right? Because this is going to represent a lot of damage. It's not lethal, but it is a lot of damage.
It is a whole lot of damage, and that is going to be the almighty question. It's going to be actually stop this thing twice. It's
Yeah.
going to come all the way down to playing that traditional Nomu block zone lottery type of level,
hmm
except you've got to get us this specific one twice.
But I know Firestarter is live right now because we did Sugar Rush earlier.
Oh man,
So
you're
we have
right.
options on drawing some more if we're really feeling light on the blocks here.
That also means that all 4 of our Ignite are online.
Yep. 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 Yep.
It's kind of crazy.
It's pretty good. Like Endeavor is playing Dobby's support so well here. All right. Well, speaking of the devil, here's our high block. And now is it time to echo? It's that time to echo, of course.
Yeah, I know. I think
Like a
100,000%.
That's not a 5.
Oh, checking the 3 though.
Dang it.
Certainly going to put a damper on our turn. However, if we can catch our rival without the high block here, could be very, very beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Can't be partially blocked.
Oh, do you have
Is
it?
that a problem? Let's find out. The question is, do we flip the fire starter here or not?
I think that's the only way that like I feel like we have to. Oh,
Okay, we don't have the high block, or we do have the high block, and we don't want to worry about this one. And
yeah,
I
it
respect both
looks
options.
like the -4 damage is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right. Well, I don't think you blow anything up for that. I mean, you could if you were really trying to like convince him, but no, we're just gonna go to 9, and we're gonna say there's no way you have it. And the only way that Nomu has it here is if he, oh, he didn't take it, or he didn't blow one up yet. Oh, he said pass, but it was he did not mean to say pass. It may have been that he was passing something else. So he's gonna
Oh,
take an extra damage off of blowing one up, which is very important because that could change the nature of the rest of this turn, depending on what Numu has in their hand.
yeah. I mean, this guy is just playing like an absolute monster right now with these foundation counts.
I mean, who needs foundations when your opponent is dead?
Yeah, this man has never.
Ah,
No, no way. No,
no. And he
no.
did have less foundations than his rival, so Chainsaw Nomu was at a 4 difficulty instead of a 5.
The
Alas,
dream, the
the
dream,
dream,
Ken, the
the dream is
dream.
slowly slipping. 1 foundation on Nomu's board, but he can still play and pass a winged Nomu twice with 2/5 checks. He has a momentum. If Endeavor can't find the right blocks and doesn't draw the backswing that wins the game, we could be, there's still a chance. There's still a
Keenan,
chance. I gotta
Keenan,
believe. I gotta believe.
Keenan, you're on some pretty serious coping with number 1 right now,
I
man.
I will hear no moo of this, Levi.
Oh no, 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 not like this. Not like this. He has 1 foundation,
He has
Keenan.
1 foundation. I know. I'm
1
just,
foundation and a dream, though. 1
1
foundation and a
foundation and
dream.
a dream. That's the important part. All right. Well, the thing is, he also only has 1 Nomu activation for the entire turn. So all of Endeavor's damage pump is incredibly live. Endeavor has plenty of health to spend down to try to get his Nomu opponent from 20 to 0. So I feel pretty confident that Endeavor, especially with a
Ooh,
winged Nomu, is probably
with
going to be
our
doing pretty good.
own winged Nomu. This is starting to smell like a
Yeah.
said and done game scenario, my friend.
This is like a civil war. The winged Nomus are beating up the non-winged Nomus, and it's starting to get ugly.
Is that what happened? Is that what happened in that one?
Yeah.
The winged
Great
versus the
question.
grounded. I don't
Yes,
know.
yes, yes.
I'm not a history buff. I'm gonna have to call. We're gonna need
I said
Grandpa
a civil
Servini.
war, not the civil war. And don't bring Servini in on history questions. I will not win.
I need Grandpa. I need Grandpa. When you don't know what's going on, you ask Grandpa. How funny would it be to pop Jesse Cervini just in on this current game state and
Yes.
have him try to figure out what's going on, and then Keenan Meadows starts asking him about the Civil War.
Yes.
And at some point, you have to ask yourself, "How did I get here?"
What are these questions? What are these board states? Who's to say? Where are his sleeves?
This is not my beautiful wings, Nomu.
This is not my beautiful wing.
Oh, but no,
this is my beautiful wing, Nomu.
It's his beautiful wings, Nomu.
Oh
We
my
have
God.
to commit our character to pass the
no.
block. So we get the full block off, but
Yeah,
now
'cause we
we're
had
just
to.
wide open for 20 from here on out.
Absolutely. So the question is there 20? And so this is starting out at potential 7.
Yeah, I think
and
that's the way
then
you have to go.
we got to find 14 more or 13 more. And it's 7 if you blow one up. If you don't blow one up,
Yeah.
it's 6.
Yeah, and we can't. I mean, I don't think we can block anything more at this point. We've got nothing to commit. We've got 1 thing in pool.
Yeah.
Pretty much every decent attack is just gonna hardcore destroy us.
Oh, it looks like he's pumping speed instead of damage. So this is This is only 5, which means that he's pretty confident that he's got the rest of the damage in his hand. Especially
Yeah.
with the ignites, he can pass whatever check he needs. So
Yeah, there's just no world where checks aren't happening here.
yeah,
Every ignite is just an extra foundation. So we essentially have 11 things to commit. Pretty much as soon as things get established,
yeah,
they're gonna get okay, going down to 13.
yeah. And soon this game is going to be Nomu.
Oh, oh,
Unless, no, there's no way. Yeah, he's got it. He's
unless.
got it.
Oh, okay, we got the
He's
corrosion lunge
got it.
coming in.
Tap 3
Not
ignites all day. Please go sideways so we nuke them and get check bonuses.
those are definitely that's what they were born to do, you know? They
All day,
were
every day.
they were born to be used right here.
Absolutely.
That sugar rush is really coming in hot to
Yeah,
keep our pools filled up.
yeah. Even if he
Our
full blocked
ammunition,
the
so to
instant
speak.
explosive release, the Sugar Rush was really the only thing that Endeavor was looking for to get the whole of his board online.
Yeah, and from this point onwards, I think this and then like any other move
Yeah, there's
is
no
gonna
reduction.
wrap things
There's
up.
no Nomu response anymore because he only ever had 2 foundations.
Yeah.
This was just the definition of drawing the worst possible option
He
on
was trying
turn
to
1.
do his Sheffield Giro impression
Mm.
and defeat
Uh,
the rival with 2 foundations.
Unfortunately, none of his cards stack his deck with 6 checks. So
They most definitely do not do that.
yeah,
They most definitely do not do that. So it looks like this corrosion lunge is going to land home. I mean, it's 3 speeds, so like
this
in a
is the
world
time
where
to try. If you got any 6 checks in your deck, you're throwing out whatever block you can accidentally pass on a 6, just in case.
yeah,
Because there's no way
yeah,
you're blocking more stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's just an absolute Hail Mary at that point.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I think you have to make those moves.
I believe so as well. I don't think it makes any sense not to at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like we don't even have the block to pretend for. So we're gonna go down to 6 as Nomu, and then it's anything and
Oh,
everything,
yep.
and
And another corrosion lunge is gonna be all that she wrote. I
yeah.
believe this one. I mean, if we couldn't block the first one, we probably couldn't block the second one.
Oh, throws the
He
cards
says,
down.
"Yep."
Dang,
He says,
man.
"Yep." He says, "Yep. I've got a bunch of fat mid blocks here that simply aren't going to help me stop this corrosion lunge, and that is going to put a wrap, leading to Endeavor's victory." Man, you know what? I wanted to believe with you, Keenan. I
I
really.
I have no words. The only words I can say is I want our Nomu player back. I won't be casting next week, Levi, but I need you to follow his storyline. The more I need more games because there were some real chances in those games. He legitimately he played so well. The excited for blood activations were always like on target, on point, and I'm excited to see what this crazy 70 card Nomu has in store moving forward. I love it, and I it's nothing but support and congratulations to our Endeavor player. What a great game. He really was able to leverage his advantages, his build advantage. The extra card from the hand size helps a lot. Also helps when your opponent doesn't build very well. But I mean, getting that Sugar Rush power off early just so that you could
That was like
turn
the biggest
all of
play.
your ignites online, huge, massive. So massive props to both of the players. And yeah, like I said, I love his take on Nomu. I'm gonna be trying out his list. I'm gonna go try to net deck it, and we're going to try to get some games in with it because it's just too cool.
We're here for the redemption arc, man.
That's
We're
right.
here for the redemption arc. I
That's
mean,
right.
Nomu is a character that's seen a lot of popularity recently. I think he like it just only like barely inches by. Like
Yeah.
it's like fourth kind, right? I feel like he's kind of competing for fourth kind in that like
Oh yeah.
popular 5-hander slot right now. And then I
Yeah.
mean, with this past weekend, man, Endeavor 2 is the talk of the town right now. This is
Hmm.
the only symbol that we didn't see him on that
Yep.
event, and it's super duper sick to see him taking names right on every single variant that you can take with this character. Really proves how just generically strong and versatile this guy is.
+2 speed and damage on any move is crazy. Couple that with a couple great defensive resources, and I mean, you're playing into the meta that we have right now, which is a lot of potentially very aggressive decks that can get stopped by a character who has the defensive resources to do it, and then the backswing to take the game down the next turn.
Yep, and that is exactly what we saw play out in that match nonetheless. But guys,
Absolutely.
That's our final round. And with that, this Wednesday Webcam Weekly has come to a close. Man, what an awesome one. We had so many cool things to talk about. We speculated on the teasers. We talked about the reveals. And of course, we got Mr. Lohan on himself for that amazing interview that, despite having bled halfway into round one, I don't think I would have had it any other way, huh, Keenan?
Genuinely, it was incredible to get him on. I mean, I've never gotten to cast one of these Wednesday weeklies before, so for my first one to be Lohan on with this massive interview was incredible, and it was great to hear all of his perspective and all of his insights on where the game is going right now. I'm very excited. One of the things that he brought up, and I know we talked about this a little bit later, but he was talking about trying to make demoing more efficient and easier, and as somebody who has done a lot of demos, I am so excited to see what that turns into. So I am very hyped. And if you did get an opportunity to watch the interview, it'll be on the VOD, and there may be some, YouTube video or something along those lines coming out for it. So definitely check that out, because it's always good when we can see one of the showrunners from Jasco come on and really, give us some insights. Not spoiling the whole, not spoiling everything, but just giving us an understanding of the sort of directions that we should be expecting from the company moving forward.
We tried. We tried to get him to spoil everything.
Right.
We gave him the old college try.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of giving him the old college try, man, you killed it tonight, Keenan. Thank you so much,
man.
dude. I mean, I know you've casted like a little bit before. I've never casted with you though. So anytime that someone new is on the scene, I'm like, well, I don't care who they are. Do I suck with them? I've got to figure it out. But tonight was super duper awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on with me, helping me out with the big boy Luhan interview. And all I gotta say, bro, is cheers to the first, definitely not the last.
Cheers, man, and thank you again for having me. This has been an absolute blast, and I can't wait to do more of them.
Of course, my friend. And of course, thanks all you guys at home for watching and hanging out with us tonight as we went through these emotional roller coasters of some My Hero Academia collectible card games. It was a fantastic evening all around, but Keenan and I have to skedaddle along now and probably think about all of the amazing sets 5 cards that got revealed across a handful of videos today. It's a very exciting time for the game right now. So stop watching and start playing. But until then, I've been Levi Lalonde.
I'm Keenan Meadows.
And we will see you guys next week. Same Wednesday Webcam Weekly time, same Wednesday Webcam Weekly place. Good night, heroes.